Cool.
Yeah, so everybody, welcome back to the Street Sessions. You know the vibes, WOW FM 92.4 on the airwaves every Tuesday. Stay locked in. I hope you guys enjoying the vibes. We are about to do a quick pre-record, so stay locked in for that one. I hope you guys are enjoying the vibes. We have a special lady in the building, man. Listen about this. Not only has she had a track on a week on BBC Introducing, no, she's done more than just that. She's also sold out solo events. Let's talk about that. That's a big boy fact. And she's got a big hit single right now called Midnight Radio. So if you're ready to start grooving in a nightclub, we are here to talk with Chloe Lupton. How you feeling?
Hello, good to be here, having me on.
Yeah,
I'm feeling good. I'm in the studio as I always am.
Yeah. No, that's good to see, man. We were saying actually before the cameras on, like, I think it's always good to be in the place where, you know, you're most comfortable. If that's the studio.
Yeah, exactly.
Then that's where you should be. I like to always ask artists, like, before you was a musician, or as I say, if you take the music side away of it, who are you as a person? Who is Chloe Lupton?
I mean, that's a difficult one because music is literally my life, and I know everyone says that one. Every artist says that. Like,
that's why I asked a question like that, so you could be like, well, besides music, this is what I do. Do you know what I mean?
Music is my whole life. It actually is, though. I actually is. So that's but no. I mean, yeah, I grew up doing musical theatre actually for a little while, and then like went into music during lockdown. But I've always been obsessed with music. I mean, that wasn't your question. You actually asked what besides music. But I mean, some facts is like I'm half French, so my mum's French, so yeah, I like different languages, and I'm a summer baby, so I like going abroad and traveling, and yeah, and then that's basically it. Besides music, because music is literally my whole life. So
have you been doing a lot of traveling recently? Since obviously lockdown fully ended now.
Yeah, I went to Greece, and that's where I shot. That's where I shot my music video for Visa, which is another song that's out on Spotify. So I went to Greece and stayed in like a tropical villa, which was stunning. And yeah, we were in Corfu, so that was so nice.
No, cool. That's sick. Yeah, because you've been performing for a while now. Obviously, you've been in the music industry for a while. So what made you think that music was now is the time to almost like go deeply into it? Because obviously you're still very young, at 21. You got a lot of things you could have decided that you wanted to do. So why music?
Why music? I mean, like I say, like I grew up with music, so it was something that I loved from like the age of like, I don't even know how old, but I started doing vocal lessons at like 14. I got my grade 8. I got my grade 8 in singing at 14. And just like I don't know what it is about me. Ever since I was a kid, I've just had this like. There are some people. So my sister, for example, she's a pianist, and she's an incredible pianist, incredible musician. Yeah. But she doesn't like the limelight. Whereas I like not necessarily the limelight, but I like my music being noticed, and I'm kind of like natural on stage. If that makes sense, without sounding like I like attention. It's more just like I come alive on stage. So that's what made me. That's what I want to do with my life.
I think that's a good point that you made there about your sister, because like I can say the same thing. I used to be behind the camera a lot, and then all of a sudden I was like, I want to be in front of it.
It's like that for like producers. It's like that for like producers, stuff like that, and like guitarists, stuff like that. They just like being in the back, but like
obviously start doing the vocal lessons at 14. What was that something that your parents just put you through, or was that generally like your decision, something that you wanted to do at that age?
Yeah, I was never forced to do anything by my parents. It was always they found out that I liked doing that, or that I was good at it, and then they pushed me to do that kind of thing. It was never like one of them situations. But yeah, I think I just always sung. Like I was such a like energetic kid. I was just always like running around dancing and singing. So they were like, let's put her through Stagecoach. Let's do this. Let's do that. That's kind of how I started doing musical theatre, because I suppose when you're a kid, I don't think artist is necessarily the route straight away when you're young. But then that developed just through like my love for R&B and soul and jazz music.
Yeah,
So,
that's interesting because you've had like basically all this training, doing musical theater as well, like you said. How has that like impacted your kind of like stage presence when you're on stage? Because I'm assuming then you should be fairly confident. You probably know how
yeah,
to use the stage. You're probably even used to performing with like a live band. 'Cause I know a lot of people struggle with that. Has that also helped with
yeah,
how you perform today?
yeah, massively. It's helped
Mm.
massively, the musical theatre side of things. Are you still there? Because you're frozen. I know you are
Yeah, yeah,
still
yeah. I'm here. I'm
there.
here.
Yeah. Yeah, musical theatre massively actually helped with stage presence and stuff like that, because you learn how to be with musical theatre. You train to be like extra with everything.
Yeah,
Everything has to
yeah,
be
yeah,
like
yeah,
times 100.
yeah.
Whereas so that kind of helps when you're like singing and just performing in general, because you know how
Mm.
to like kind of extend everything. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's definitely
Nah, that's sick. That's sick.
100%.
Do you know one thing that I did find very cool when I was obviously doing my research was about having a track of the week. Um, so coming through all of that training, getting into the music, and essentially not even being in the game for so long and to already have a track of the week. I believe the track was called The Game as well. Am I right? Yeah, The Game.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
talk to us through that. So you dropped The Game. You're
yeah.
doing your little press. I got to put this out, trying to get it out. And then BBC say, "Listen, Chloe, you're the one. You're the one for this week." Like, how did that feel?
That was really cool. I mean, I remember being with at the time I was visiting my friends from drama school actually. Um I was little bit different to them, because obviously they're all still doing musical theatre, but I was the only
Yeah.
one that went into the artist route. But I went and just
Mm.
hung out with them because they're my friends. And then yeah, I got an email from Angel, who's the BBC presenter on Suffolk, introducing Suffolk.
Okay,
And
cool,
she
cool,
just said, she was like, I absolutely love the track, and I want to do it as track of the week. And that was like my second song, and I was like, what? It's
cool.
amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
But a lot of people like that one. I think it's because it's quite I mean, it's not my favorite anymore because it's quite a long time ago now, but it's
Mm.
like a little bit James Bondy, like it's kind of got that James Bond type vibe, like bad bitch kind of.
No, I think it's a dope track. I literally watched the video earlier before we came on, and I was feeling it, man. I think it's dope. I like the simplicity of the video as well. Like sometimes some
Yeah,
videos don't need all that extra stuff, and
yeah,
yours was
definitely.
just like simple. It was like yours, like the focus, and I really enjoyed it. I think the song suited you
Yeah.
well. I've realized that you have that kind of voice that you want to re-listen to, which I think is
Oh,
very
really?
rare in a musician. Like your style of singing, is that something that you've worked on for a long period of time? Could you have like a voice where I know it's you, whereas I feel like
Oh, really? That's good. I like
in
that.
yeah, because obviously when you work in radio all the time, like well, you'll start learning when you get an industry, and people start sending you music for no reason, you'll realize that you'll have like 20 singers and it all sound the same.
Oh,
But then
really? Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So when I heard your voice, I was like, oh, I was like to Sean, yeah, bro. Who's Chloe? I didn't get on the show.
Love that.
So
I
yeah,
love
like when it came to like your vocals, is that something that helped you out from obviously the vocal lessons from 14 for you to find like your kind of sound essentially?
Yeah, so like from that age, I suppose when I started doing vocal training, it was
Mm.
musical theatre vocal training I was doing.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
So I kind of they were trying to train my voice to be very like kind of oh like
Yeah.
operatic type vibe. But yeah, but I never really liked it. I don't think I suited it, because I've
Mm,
always loved, I think from a really young age, I was
mm.
started listening to stuff like Ella Fitzgerald in the jazz section, and then like
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Anderson .Paak, Lucky Day.
Mm,
Lucky Day is one of my favorite. Her stuff like that. I was listening to that from like quite young, like 16 plus. And
mm,
then that's the stuff that kind of molded me, because I like really, really loved that style of music. And I always liked riffing
mm.
and like kind of a little bit more soul. I liked a little bit more soul in my voice. That was always like naturally where I liked what I liked singing best, or how I
Yeah,
liked
yeah,
singing
yeah.
best. So then that's what strayed me from musical theatre, because I would sing like that and they'd be like, no, do it this way. And I'm like, no.
That's
So
great. Yeah.
yeah, basically, yeah.
No, I like that. I like that. I think whatever you're doing, you should just keep doing, because once you have a unique tone that easily establishes you as an artist,
Yeah.
there's so many levels you can go to, because no one can really put you in a box. At least we're not saying, oh yeah, you're Beyonce, or no, you're Rihanna.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
listen, bring all that jazz, soul, and R&B into your vocals, and yeah, you're winning, man.
Yeah, I mean, they're slightly different, I guess, because like
Yeah,
I do like to be a little bit versatile as well, because there are
yeah, of
some
course.
there's some songs where I'm singing quite like powerful, if that makes sense, like
Yeah.
big,
Mm.
and then there are some songs like Visa where I kind of tone it
Mm.
down and it's a little bit more rappy, like rap singy,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
I kind of because some songs I don't want them all to be like
mm.
too rich. Sometimes I like them to just be a little bit more light.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I think that's interesting. I think a lot of singers nowadays, I believe, do kind of dibble and dabble that kind of singy, rappy type of vibe. When
yeah,
I've seen Ariana Grande has done it. Can't remember what the song is.
yeah,
Prison or
true.
Position, one of them tunes. But a lot of
Seven
R&B,
Rings,
seven.
Seven
That's it.
Rings.
Yeah, Seven Rings. Yeah, a lot of them are doing that. Obviously you mentioned doing that as well. Is that something that you like to dibble and dabble do, in obviously in terms of, maybe speeding up your singing? Because I kind of just call it speeding up singing, but it is technically
Yeah, I never know what to call it.
not.
'Cause I don't think I could actually rap because
Yeah.
like my accent doesn't work. My accent's too like everyone always says I'm really posh. I'm not even posh as a person. It's just my accent. It's probably because I come from the countryside. But it doesn't work with rap.
Yeah. I'm from
But
Somerset, so I get you. But people say I sound too fresh for black guys. Where man?
oh really?
I get you, man. But one of my closest friends had a horse. That's all you need to know. When your friend has
Oh,
a horse,
I don't even have a friend that has a horse. So you've actually beat me.
I was fully in that country.
But yeah, I can't remember what the question was now.
I'm not gonna have to.
Oh yeah, raps,
Oh
rap
yeah,
singing.
rapping. Yeah, rapping. Yeah.
I actually wrote a song called Smoke, which people
Okay.
seem to like on TikTok. But I wrote a song called Smoke,
Yeah.
and it's basically about it's about relationships that,
Mm.
where the person starts to smoke and it
Yeah.
starts to get a little bit like distant and that kind of thing in the relationship. So I wrote that, and I was
Mm.
gonna do it as a rap, and then I was like, that doesn't really suit my accent. So then I did it as a sing rap, and it's actually
Mm.
one of my favorite songs. So I kind of just depends on the mood. It depends how I'm feeling, to be honest, and what the beat is like as well.
Yeah. No, I like the fact that you mentioned TikTok, because obviously social media is very powerful nowadays. And I want to ask you, like, because I've seen a couple of your like little TikTok videos. I think I saw one just like an hour ago with like you and a guitar or something in your bedroom. Like, I
Oh
think it's your
yeah.
bedroom. Like how does that kind of help? Because obviously you mentioned that you can literally just drop a teaser on TikTok just to see what the people are thinking. Is that
Yeah.
something that you use TikTok for, or Instagram or whatever? Like you just drop random videos, whether that's covers, and how has that been for you as well?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I do all the time because yeah, I kind of just I feel like I'm getting the hang of the whole content side of things. I mean,
Mm.
I'm learning how to like because you've got to use the trends on TikTok and Instagram as well. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
You're not going to hit the algorithm. I've actually learned quite a lot about it over just doing it. You're not going to hit the algorithm unless you're one using trends and using sounds. You don't have to use the sounds because obviously you're trying to blow up your own music,
Yeah.
but like at least some kind of like relatable content. So like
Mm.
if for example, I don't know, if the song's about a breakup, you'll be like, play this if you're sad, or like, I don't know, play this to your ex, blah blah blah, and then
Yeah.
play the song. And then you have to put lyrics, text as well, because people like to read something. So I'm just learning a lot about it, and it helps to
Yeah.
like learn those tips. But it is quite hard, I suppose, on TikTok for my type of music, because my music is like future soul. And I
Right.
feel like TikTok is a little bit more directed for like younger audiences. So it is a little bit harder for that style genre, I think.
Yeah.
Or it could just be luck. But I'm still waiting for that moment to like blow on TikTok. But I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, man. Listen, as long as you stay consistent, one of those videos will blow up. Like it happens to literally, if you stay consistent, you always will get there. It's
Yeah,
just how patient are you and how many videos do
consistency.
you want to drop before you get there? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
interesting because there's been a lot of conversation regarding artists that come from social media not being able to perform. And obviously because you've had the musical theatre practices, and obviously you've performed as well within your own music as well. I'm assuming that your kind of musical background has allowed you to perform better, because if the conversation is always they blow up on social media, they go on stage and they don't match, is that something that you've ever worried about when it comes to going on stage, not being able to actually engage? Do you get nervous, or do you literally just go up there, you're just like, yeah, I'm that bitch?
Well, I think to be honest, that doesn't worry me, no, because I feel like I'm the opposite. So I haven't necessarily blown up on social media yet. People obviously appreciate it and all that kind of stuff, but because I haven't actually necessarily blown up yet, so it's kind of like I'm on the opposite spectrum where I'm better at performing, I think, than like the whole the whole content creating social media side of things. I'm doing fine, but like I think I'm a better performer. So if it was to happen, which would be awesome, that's what I'm aiming for, then I think if it came to performing and doing gigs, it would go pretty well, I think. But I do get nervous though. I obviously everyone gets nervous. Because you're always like, oh, well, no one's going to stand up. But then, of course, they are.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, because do you think the fact that you have been able to build yourself as an artist before getting that one blown hit, that you're kind of ready for a hit? Because I think the conversation obviously is the person that gets the hit isn't ready. They probably haven't done an open mic. This is what they're saying. They haven't done no open mics. They haven't really performed. They got this song, and then they're just straight on stage. Like essentially now they're at, I don't know.
That's actually such a good point. That's a really good point. I never even thought of it like that. It's like, I suppose in a way, before you blow, you're kind of preparing. It's good that I'm preparing myself and doing gigs, because I do a lot of like open mics. So yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, because I saw that you sold out. You sold out events as well. So talk to me a little bit about that. Like how was that? Because not many people can say they've sold out, especially at a very young age, at a very early stage of their music career. So how did that kind of come about? How did you like sell out? How was the event? Where was it? How did it go?
Yeah, it was just this event at the Smokehouse in Ipswich, which is where I live.
Nice.
And it was literally like my favorite night ever. It was so fun. So yeah, it was actually one, because obviously it was my first headline gig, my first gig, but also my first headline gig, like with just me selling my own tickets. I was like, oh my god, I was panicking, because it is really stressful doing that all by yourself. Obviously I had my team with Radical. I had my team. These are the guys that run the studio. But yeah, I had my band and everything, so we were kind of all helping each other sell the tickets. And I guess word just kind of spread about it, and people, friends came obviously as well, and family and stuff like that. But then loads of other people that are in the community that like soul music, that like that kind of vibe, and people that go to Smokehouse as well, been there before, just came along, and I managed to. So I was just so happy when I walked down stage and to see like the room was full. And also people knew that there's a section in a video on YouTube where I got someone to film interviews of people and film behind the scenes of the whole show. And it's a really good video because it captures people, and although they were all kind of drunk, obviously it captures people's like genuine like excitement after the gig and stuff. So it's a really good video. But there's a bit that I've got a song called Go Get It, which is out, and everyone seemed to know the lyrics. I was just really excited about that.
As an artist, when people know the lyrics, that must have made you feel like I'm doing something right. Do you know what I mean? Because then people actually like it and they can sing along to it, which means your lyrics are easy to catch on to as well. So that must have been amazing, man.
Exactly. I mean, that one was quite a simple one because it's Go Get It, but yeah.
Hey, sometimes the simplest hooks are the best songs, and some of the most craziest lyrical songs might not even be it. What advice would you give to anyone who would like to put on an event? Obviously, you mentioned having a team. So is it always about making sure you have the best team around you? Like, what would be your advice for somebody who would like to put on their own event?
Well, yeah, one would be have a team. Yeah, make sure that you've got people around you that can help like support the event, because it's quite hard to do when you're like solely on your own. So then you at least have people that are selling tickets, like members of the band that are selling tickets, or like the engineer or whoever. And just try to relax. I mean, because if you stress too much as well, because obviously everybody stresses about doing their own gig and their first gig as well. Best thing to do is just to try to relax about it, because if you stress too much, then that's literally not going to help anything, is it? Because
Yeah,
either
100%.
people are going to love you, going to go, or they're not. But whether there's 2 people or 1 person there, or 10 people, 30 people, 60, whatever, however many people there are, what I've always been told is you have to give the best performance as if there were like thousands. You will always have to give your best performance, because
Yeah.
if you respond to how many people are in the audience, then you're not really going to, you're not going to have the practice, and you're not going to get very far, I suppose, because but I mean,
No.
you're always going to get far, but you just, as you're learning, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, I think that's a very good point. For anyone who is listening, we do have a lot of young cats that tune into our sessions. So I think it'll always be good, because I get a lot of like 16, 17, 18-year-old always like, I don't want to put an event, man, but I don't know how to do it. So I think for all you lot that keep asking me, listen, this is a young 21-year-old woman who was able to sell out. Yeah. So make sure you follow her as well. Yeah. Because
Do it.
you can learn a few things. She's doing her thing on TikTok as well. You get some tips, because I'm telling you, asking me, I'm a 30-year-old man. I ain't your kids. I ain't on TikTok. I don't know what to do with these things. Yeah, it's not my scene. So go follow people like Chloe. Yeah, get to know her, follow her, and check her out. All the stuff will be, all the information boxes you'll find here. Let's get into this single. We've got Midnight Radio, wonderful radio.
Yeah.
Wonderful song, should I say. Before I get fully into how you come up with a track, obviously I read that, it's all about, going out, meeting people and catching a vibe in the music. So I'm assuming I have to ask you, do you have any night out stories of your own where you went out, met random strangers and just started grooving down to the tune for the night? Well, you have to have a story now.
I mean, it's getting personal. No, I'm joking. I've definitely got a few. I'm trying to think of a specific one. This has been a few times. Well, I mean, I met my ex on the dance floor, which was funny. It was on the. I mean, here we are shouting him out. But yeah, no, it was in a club on the disco dance floor, specifically in Ipswich.
Nice.
And yeah, that was quite fun. So that was just interesting how it actually like blossomed from there. But another story was quite funny. That was in London. In London, we were at this event, and I was just absolutely gone. And it was at an event. I can't remember what it's called. It was called, oh my god, it was called Disco in a Strip Club. It's not actually a strip club, but it's called Disco in a Strip Club. It's like an event. And this is actually quite a short story, but it was just funny. And because I was kind of obviously had my beer goggles on, I remember saying that I thought the guy looked like Johnny Depp. I thought he was Johnny Depp, and they told me he literally looked like Harry Potter. So there we go.
Drink stories are funny, man. I mean,
the next day they were all like, they were so funny. But yeah.
Nah, that's true. But no, because I think your song really has that proper like disco-y. I can imagine this like, I don't know. Obviously, don't really go there anymore because it's back in the day thing. But I don't know if you heard of a club called like Prison. Is it called Prison?
Yeah.
Prison. I can imagine that song
I've heard of
played in that club. That's why I used to go when I was like 18. It used to be Oceana, but then it changed. The brand changed to Prison nowadays. I haven't been in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the club you go to if you're like 18 to like 23. After that, I can't go there anymore, man.
Yeah, there are some clubs. Even me at my ripe old age of 20. I'm actually 22 now.
Yeah,
I just turned 22. But yeah, even you're still young, and I still go to like places like Revs and stuff like that, and I just don't like the music because it's not funky enough for me. It's not like I like old school like 90s 2000s bangers.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's my vibe, man. To be fair, I don't mind disco tunes as well, but I don't mind like house and stuff. But I think after a while I'm like, yeah, listen, it's been like 2 hours now, mate. It's the 90s. You know what I mean? But I don't mind it anyways. But let's get into it. Obviously, Midnight is a wonderful single. Available everywhere. So if anyone's listening right now, do your Googles, go research it, or get your Shazams ready, because we will be playing it on radio straight after the interview. Talk to us a little about that. I see that it's been inspired by Bruno Mars as well, so which is an interesting feat. So we're definitely gonna get into that. But just first of all, start off with, you know, how did you come up with Midnight Radio? What was the process? How did you find the instrumental? How did it all start?
Yeah, so Midnight Radio, I found the beat whilst I was actually at work, because I work in an office. So I work in a like customer service advisor in a call center, so I can basically like, I mean, I shouldn't be saying this on, but yeah, I found it on there, and I was just like, this is an awesome beat. This is like, just, it had such a West Coast funky, like groovy vibe. It was like right on my street, and I was obsessed with it. And it's by a producer called Cheap Limousine. And then I literally came in this studio here, and I was literally sat here, and I was on FaceTime to my sister, and she gave me a few ideas, and we were just kind of going back and forth a little bit. And then I carried on writing it on my own. But yeah, the first thing that came to her mind was the strangers in the dark, baby. And then I carried on from there, and I just called it Midnight Radio because it just gave me that like late night vibe. That late night, like meet someone in a club vibe, basically.
Nah,
So,
I love that. Yeah, because I think when I was listening to the single, because this is actually the reason why I called Sean, because I heard he sent it to me the first time, and I didn't open it. I just never opened the emails. So I had a few emails, never opened it, and then because Sean loves to send things like 3-4 times. I think it was the 4th time I opened it, and I'm like, you know, I've seen this girl's name at that time. Let me just like open it, because this clearly must be a hit, right? Like, keep sending me the same song. I click it finally, because basically I haven't been DJing for a while, so I've been updating my radio playlist for just a couple of weeks. I've just been out of London. I'm still out of London now. So home. So like, yeah, just haven't been DJing for a while, so just haven't been doing playlists. I've been sending off like pre-records to my radio station while I'm just away. I'm basically just shooting at the moment, so it's doing some work stuff. So anyways, I click it, I listened to it, and I'm like, okay. Then they got to the hook, and I was like, okay, this is giving me proper like funky. Like I don't hear enough of that anymore. I don't hear enough of that on a radio, specifically commercial.
I know, it's just not out enough at the moment.
Yeah, it's not out like that enough.
Not since 24K Magic by Bruno Mars. So yeah.
It needs,
that's
what I was getting to.
The world needed it.
That's what I was kind of getting to. Was that inspiration when it came to, you know, dropping something that's funky? You wanted to bring that kind of genre back into specifically into the UK scene, because it's really nothing like that in the UK anyways.
Yeah, that's the thing. I wanted to just kind of like, it's kind of like a mix of my love for like, you know, like that Bruno Mars US soul kind of like old school vibe, but a lot like mixed with like the UK pop culture vibe. I wanted to kind of mix the two together, I guess, and it kind of it gives that energy of Bruno Mars. So yeah, I wanted to like bring that back. I feel like the radio needed it a little bit.
I generally think like what I've quickly learned just from even talking about you is that you kind of understand where you're at and where you're heading. And I think with Midnight Radio, you are portraying that within your music very well. And I really commend you for that, because I think the interesting thing with artists in today, in 2023 or whatever, everybody's kind of trying to stay in a comfort box or in the same box. Like you find a sound, you run with it. My biggest thing is I always tell Afrobeat artists, bro, we need to find some new beats, because we're all doing the same thing. I mean, I make music as well, but I do the exact same. I'm not even using my own advice. Okay. But I keep saying, show us your music. We need to do is like, because I feel like even I get comfortable. So it's like, it's so simple to just, let me just keep doing what's working. So now I commend you that, you know, because with the whole R&B, jazz, soul, funky, like your voice, like it just works, and I think it's beautiful.
Thank you.
With this single, with this single Midnight Radio, how do you want the audience or the listeners to take in your single?
Well, I want them to basically just have a good time with the single. I want them to be like, it's the kind of song that has an infectious groove. So really, I want them to just get up and have a dance, and that's basically it. But like, also, it's kind of relatable, like we were talking about earlier, because obviously I'm sure people have, like, lots of people have had that experience in a club where, you know, you see someone on the dance floor and it's just that night, just like intoxicated, and you just, you're just like feeling the music, and a lot of people can relate to that. So it's that, but it's also like just something that can lift the mood, because there's a lot of stuff that's been going on, like in the UK and, you know, everywhere really. But it's kind of just a group to lift the mood.
Yeah, man. For anyone listening in, man, if you need to get the mood up, tune in. Chloe Lupton got it, man. Midnight Radio is where they're at. Get your drinks out.
Yeah.
Bro, if you don't drink, get the mocktails. Listen, there's no excuses, even if you're Muslim.
Exactly.
Mocktails exist. We can pretend to get drunk. Before I let you go, and then everyone listening in as well, if you are listening in on radio, not YouTube, for anyone else on YouTube and stuff, don't bother about this part. Stay locked in, because we will be playing the single Midnight Radio, and I also got the game as well, because I like that song, so I just wanted to play. So we're going to play Chloe.
Oh, okay, nice.
So stay locked in, so don't leave anywhere. But I love to ask every artist a simple but basic question to end it. For anybody who would love to get into the music industry, what would be your advice to them?
My advice would be consistency and resilience, basically, are the two things that come straight to my mind. I mean, consistency is key, is what I've learned, because you can't just give up just because you've done one or two things or posted 2 or 3 things and it hasn't gone viral, or you know, you haven't got accepted for an application you did once or twice. You have to just keep going until, if you believe in yourself, obviously, and you're talented enough, you will get there. And that's the same with resilience. So
Now, thank you very much, Chloe, for coming on the show today. I really appreciate you giving me some of your time.
Thank you.
I want to say also big shout out to everybody that's listened to the whole thing. If you're on YouTube, in the comments, let me know what you're feeling. Let me know if you've got any questions. Bro, like I do for everyone now, I'll screenshot it, I'll send it to get her to answer it. We'll do like a little, this happens sometimes. So we'll do like a little story on Instagram. I don't know. I'll just get them out there. So if you got any questions, you could just DM it to his page. Just go follow it. All the stuff will be in the comment section below. Well, this is actually the part where you tell everybody where they can find you, any up and coming events, merch, anything that you need to let them know about, you tell them right now. So,
so you can find me on @Chloe Lupton Music on basically all social media platforms except for Twitter, which is _Chloe Lupton. But Instagram, TikTok, Facebook is Chloe Lupton Music, as well as YouTube. On YouTube, I've got a full performance video and an interview video on there at the moment, and music videos and stuff like that. So just check it all out. And if you're following me, then you'll find out about all the events that I'm doing.
So everybody, comment section on Instagram will be added. All the information will be there on podcast platforms in the description. Check it out. If you're looking in on Apple Music, everywhere, man. Just everything's there, man. You know, guys. You know that. You know that. Thank you very much for coming in. This has been your boy Firahs. This is the Street Sessions, and don't forget, every Tuesday from 4 to 8 p.m. and we are out.
Been tuned into the Street Session with your boy Firahs and Joe MK.
Why is this the name of our show, bro?
Because we're the hottest in the streets.
Catch us online, on the go, and on the FM. Okay, let's go.